Hi, welcome to day 22 of 30 Days of Creativity. I'm Pam Hammerling, and today's project is 3 easy cards to make, greeting cards that is. Now, you probably are like, wow, she's said things are easy before and it requires all these things. I hope that you think that they're easy. I really do, because I'm not using any paint, and I don't even use, I don't really use any what you would typically call art supplies. So even though I'm surrounded by them, I'm just choosing to keep it really simple and easy. And these are things that I would actually do myself. So it's not like I'm always, painting cards and things like that, which I do like doing. But in this case, I want to keep it simple so that you, right now, when you're at home with just the limited things that you have, that maybe you can walk around your house and find some supplies and staple them or tape them down to a card that you could send off to someone. And if you say you don't have an envelope, go back a few days, a week or two, I'm not sure, I should have looked this up first and find out how to make an envelope, because you can make an envelope to go with your card if that is an issue. So first off, let's just look at the cards that we're going to be making. So one on map paper, a heart on map paper, one on book paper that uses a playing card and a word from a magazine, and then one on scrapbooking paper and burlap using also a word from a magazine. So the supplies that you need are, would be, I buy pre-made 5x7 greeting cards that I can just fold and then apply whatever I'm going to make for my card. I recognize that most people do not have that. So if you were to have any kind of cardstock on hand, then you could just cut it and fold it to your size. Now, 5x7 is pretty big for a card, so do not feel like you got to make it this size. It can be half this size. It could, whatever size paper that you have that you can fold in half and maybe cut down to a semi-normal, size. Go try that. Also, if you do not have any kind of cardstock that's a little bit heavier, then you could also just take printer paper and fold it in half and fold it in half again. There's nothing wrong with that, and then make your card on top of that. So the other thing that you could do is use either the back side of and to make it more like a postcard card, the back side of your note paper, that cardboard on the back, or a cereal box could be cut out and used. Those are kind of thinner cardboards, and they're easy to cut, or fairly easy to cut, and you could make that into a card. You could fold it, or you could just make it more like, like, let's use 5x7 as an example, cut it to 5x7, and then just decorate the one side, or you could do both sides, right on the brown side, and then decorate the other side. So there's lots of options out there, and I hope that you will consider trying something, since we're using non-art materials. So I'm going to throw out the things that you could use. Now, I went back to the well on the words, and we have used them over and over again from the magazine. So, go through your magazines if you have any, or your recycled materials, because believe me, even the recycled materials has plenty of words that you could pull out, or letters that you could then use different letters to spell out the words that you want. Now, if for any of you have rubber stamps, that's an awesome option, that you could just stamp the saying or whatever it is that you, the sentiment that you want to say. So on one of them, I guess I should just show you per card. Let's go back. So on this one, I used scrapbooking paper. There's all different kinds, which we've talked about. Well, I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. Probably not card by card. I'm just going to go through my stash of stuff and give you some ideas. Different twine. A lot of people have baker's twine and regular twine. I think it makes a fun embellishment. Now, be careful you don't get it too thick, or they will charge you more postage. So be careful about that. Then there's different fabrics, pieces. This was actually cut off a sweater, and I think I have like about 10 of them. So that's something to think about if you're getting rid of something, or you shrunk, burlap, different textured fabrics, an old napkin that I've used, that I cut and tear into strips, and then also felt. So those are all great as to put down as the beginning layer of your card. Then of course there's all the different papers, matte papers. These are all papers from a magazine that I've cut out that have great, that are cute, that I could use in something. We talked about decorative napkins that you might have, scrapbooking papers, book paper, and music paper. One thing I would like to mention is pieces of just cardboard. Now, and this is like the back side of one of those pads that's very thin, and this would be a great substrate to make a card on and then attach it to your, to your actual physical card. But these I just cut into this size because they honestly, I think they would be perfect if I decorated them and then they would just pop right on top of here. I didn't end up using that because I wanted to keep it as simple as possible, but this would be another fun way to, you start with this base because you know it's the right size, and then you decorate that, and then you apply this with glue or tape onto your card. Now, I did use, obviously scissors. I used staples as an option to attach, glue stick, tape, double-sided tape, whatever you have on hand is what you need to use. And then I also use some washi tape, which is a decorative tape. You could use masking tape, you could use Scotch tape, you could use whatever you have. So now, I hope you walk around your house and you see things in a new light. We are in a place where most people feel a little bit of drudgery and a little bit of monotony as these days go on and on. I want you to look around your house for things that you can now cut apart, tear apart, and put on a card, because you can, because you're going to see things with new eyes. You're going to look around and go, yeah, I could use that. Pam did that. You are creative. You just have to let yourself be creative. You just have to kind of use that creativity and try to put it onto something like a card, or whatever, think of all the projects that we've done. Look at the things around your house or your apartment and how you can use those in a different way. Because if we don't find the time right now to use our creativity, to find time to, have fun, maybe laugh a little bit. You can laugh at me too. I mean, I'm sorry. I know that there's times when, it's funny. So I hope you are laughing with me, maybe not at me. But we also need to be moving our bodies. We need to be creating and having fun, and, trying to make the most of this time, because it's all about making choices. And it is hard, and I don't want to minimize that, but I do think we have to try to make a choice to look at things differently, to make time to do things that will bring health, both for our bodies and for our mental health. And that's not easy. That isn't easy, because our tendency is to just kind of stop and to not try. And I want to push you to keep trying and keep embracing new things, and to not make excuses for not trying. I don't have that, or I don't have this. Even if it's not going to be perfect, give it a try, because right now is a time when it's good to explore, and it's good to broaden your base of what you think you can do. Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Nobody's going to grade you, and nobody's going to say, you're not being critiqued on any of this. You're just having fun. And I hope that's what these days of creativity have been for you, because they certainly have been for me. it's like it's bringing out this whole new side of me too. It's like, oh, what else can I come up with? What else can we do? And most of them are things I'm already doing. I just want to share with you because I feel like embracing this part of ourselves can just bring us a lot of joy. And that is what I wish for you, for more than anything, is joy during a time of hardship. So thank you so much for joining me for day 22. And I hope you enjoy this project. And I hope you look around your house and find a few things that you can glue down on a piece of paper. Have some fun, and I will see you next time.
So I chose from all the papers and materials that I described earlier, I've decided to make 3 cards, and I'm keeping them very simple, and it's going against everything in me, but I'm not going to use really any what I would consider art supplies. I'm not going to use any paint or any other materials that wouldn't be common or that you couldn't probably find around your house. Mostly. So some things obviously you would have to modify. So let's get started. I'll set these 2 cards aside. Where should I set them? Over here. And the first one I'm going to make is I'm using, and I've kind of got the materials ready. I'm going to use a map, and I'm just going to use some washi tape. Now, okay, this might be the one thing that you don't have, but maybe you could use masking tape or some other kind of tape that that you have around the house. And I also know that you might not have a map also. So, but some kind of random paper that you have laying around the house. And I'm just going to tape it on the 4 corners, just to kind of do some different things. So then I've taken another small map, and I literally turned it over, and you can actually see where I drew a heart that's not the best. Even the paper isn't, it's kind of wrinkled, but that's fine. And this paper is also wrinkled. It's older paper. And we're just going to kind of position this heart on here. I'm not sure exactly how. And then from those papers from the magazine where I went through and cut out all those words, I have this live life. And I'm going to kind of angle the heart, I think, and then put the live life, something like that. So and I'm just going to glue this down. So I'm kind of wanting to see where I want that before I actually get the glue out. That's close enough. So I'm going to grab one of these pieces of paper that I use for paint, because this glue, once I open it up, it starts dripping, and I would rather not have it drip all over. So in order to contain it. So I'm just going to glue, and kind of angle the heart. And then this looks like, it's kind of not straight, and I guess that's okay. I'm not much of a perfectionist, but there are things that I do appreciate a semi-straight line. If it kind of looks a little bit straighter. Okay, so we'll glue this on, and you may want to put it under something heavy, a book or something to help flatten it out. But there you have it. Was about as simple as you can get. Now, I a lot of times like to do, most of my cards are thank yous or birthdays, and you could easily have, if you had stamped words like happy birthday or thank you or something like that. But see how simple that is. Just a few layered pieces of paper, some tape, and there you have it. Okay, so the next one, let's grab our next card, and we'll set that tape aside, is, okay, sorry about that. I'm going to use book paper, and we're going to put book paper down, and then I have these, they're foreign playing cards. Now, any playing cards would be fun, and sometimes the back, and if you don't have a full set, that could be really fun to use as part of this. So I happen to have one with an owl, and then I thought the word fly was, kind of fitting. And, we want, and I feel like fly isn't just about flying like a bird, but just kind of like how we each can fly and, movement and that kind of thing. So soar, whatever. So I'm going to use this, but I'm going to, and of course I put that over there, and then I did not cap my glue, and I did not have it on the sheet, of course. I'm going to staple this one, I think. So I'm going to staple, I think what I'll do is glue this down, but I think I'll staple these parts together. How about that? Just so that we can use different materials. So let's see how we want this to be. I think it's kind of going to be like that. So let's staple this top here. And I think what I'm going to do is kind of staple it so that there's a design. And then I'll do the same down here, although it might be covered by the word, depending on where that word goes. Yeah, it will be covered. And I think, do I want to staple that word? Maybe I do. Let's just staple that word right on there too. And then we'll do that little X there, and then at the bottom. And let me guess, I'm out of staples, but let's not worry about that. We've got one staple in, so we'll just go with it. And now this could be double-sided tape or whatever, but we're going to use our glue because it's handy, and because, glue stick would actually be way better. But as I've talked about, my glue sticks are pretty much dried up, so it's not really an option right now. Well, that's true. I could buy one, so it could be an option. So, and if you don't have any of these supplies, you would definitely have to buy something. But I wanted to give you lots of options in case you have one of them. You have a stapler, or you have glue, or you have a glue stick, or you have tape. One of those would work. Okay, so see how simple that was. Now, our last one, let's pull this over here. Well, let's get my glue upside down because it's coming to the bottom. I'm going to use a piece of scrapbooking paper. Now, I purposely did not use that in the other ones because I know a lot of people do not have, patterned paper or that. So, and for this one, you could, obviously use what you have, book paper. Everybody has a book, or some recycling material. A piece of cardboard would be really cool as well. And then I have taken some twine and put it on top of burlap. And then I thought this word celebrate from a magazine that I cut out was perfect. So remember, the burlap was just from a bag of rice that I've been cutting apart. And the twine, almost everybody has some piece of twine. And if you don't, we can go back to the well on, where I had said take, maybe you have a garment you're donating, maybe that you could tear that apart into strips or use it for different, find fabric, into ribbon pieces and things like that. So I'm going to glue this down, and this one might take a few extra minutes. So I think I'll actually fast forward myself doing this, just because this could take a few minutes, and then I'll show you all three of them and we'll be done. Okay, and now we're finished. As you can see, the pattern of the twine, I decided to do it a little bit differently. Well, I actually didn't, but it just, the way the glue, I had to glue it down. I just let the twine go whichever wonky way it wanted to. And then the burlap is having difficulty laying flat, so I'll probably lay a book on it and before I'm finished. But here they are. So this one, scrapbooking paper, magazine word, burlap from your rice bag, a piece of old twine. Book paper, an old plain card, and a word from a magazine. Old maps, washi tape or any tape, and a word from a magazine. So there you have it. 3 simple and easy cards to make. I hope this spurs on your creativity so that you are thinking, look around my house, what do I have? I can glue it down on a piece of paper and look through a magazine or a piece of recycled material and find some words. And, I think you will be surprised at what you can come up with. So I appreciate you joining me for day 22. We've made it through a little over 3 weeks. It's amazing. I just appreciate you guys so much. You are super creative, and I want you to believe that with your whole heart and enjoy every minute of making cards from found materials around your house. So thanks again for joining me for day 22 of 30 Days of Creativity, and I will see you next time.